Creator and creation. This cornerstone truth of Scripture was stated well by Augustine. For to confess that God exists, and at the same time to deny that he has foreknowledge of future things, is the most manifest folly. But we who confess the Most High and true God himself do confess his will, supreme power, and prescience. No one, however, stated God's foreknowledge more fully than the much defamed Arminius. God knows all things possible, whether they be in the capability of God or of the creature, imagination or enunciation, all things that could have an existence, those which are necessary and contingent, good and bad, universal and particular, future, present and past, excellent and vile. He knows things substantial and accidental of every kind, the actions and passions, the modes and circumstances, external words and deeds, internal thoughts, deliberations, counsels, and determinations, and the entities of reason, whether complex or simple. Calvinism, unfortunately, takes a far different view of foreknowledge, which actually denigrates God's omniscience. If God did not foreordain all things, then he could not know the future. Without scriptural support, Calvin declared that God foresees the things which are to happen simply because he has decreed that they are so to happen. Going even further, another author says, "The idea that God knows the future without having planned it and without controlling it is totally foreign to Scripture. In fact, the opposite is the case. Nowhere does Scripture say, or even imply, that God knows all beforehand only because he has foreordained and caused it. How then can God be sure that what he foreknows will happen, and that something will not intervene to change the future? Simply because he is all-knowing, and therefore the future is as plain to him as the past. If God had to plan and cause something to happen, or even to control its occurrence in order to know it would take place, he would be limited in his foreknowledge, and therefore not the infinite, omniscient God that he is. If the Calvinistic view is correct, then every detail of every crime and disease, and of the destruction to property and the human suffering and loss of life and limb caused by natural disasters would be foreordained and caused by God. Otherwise, he would be ignorant of the future. We are told that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day, in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, and that 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night. Psalm 90, verse 4. Some have attempted to find a hidden meaning in these statements, but there is none. The phrases, "with the Lord" and "in thy sight," are the key to understanding this rather simple and straightforward declaration. Time is part of the physical universe, which God created out of nothing. God himself is, therefore, outside of time. That is the simple truth in these two scriptures. As one scientist recently explained, the actual existence of past, present, and future is required by Einstein's theory of relativity. All space and time form a four-dimensional continuum that simply exists. The theory does not permit time to be treated as a dimension in which the future is open or incomplete. He further explained, "From a Christian point of view, it is reasonable to conclude that the temporal and the spatial extent of our universe were created together, and thus the entire four-dimensional structure resides before, in the view of, its creator, in an eternal present. Thus our modern scientific understanding of the nature of time fits quite well with the Christian tradition that God has knowledge of all time, past, present, and future. Before Abraham was, I am." Note that God does not say, "I was," or "I will be," He says, I am. He is the self-existent One, ever present to all events, whether past, present, or future, from our point of view.